Donald Trump's plan to privatize Freddie and Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, and its consequences for mortgage rates because they're going to skyrocket if this happens. There's a story at a Newsweek, and I've been calling for higher interest rates for a long time, but not because of this. This is even more pressure on mortgage rates. And if you have a mortgage that is not in a good spot right now, you may want to consider refinancing before this happens. Let me explain it before, and just the Memorial Day sale down below, the link to incredible prices on all the courses I've made to make you more financially free. They're down below, but the Mortgage Master bundle along with Investor Mortgage Pro, I'm not joking, for the price it's at, please look into taking those two courses fully, and you'll be blown away with how much money you save every time you go take another mortgage out. It's 25 years of me learning the hard way and the good way about mortgage savings. It says here, President Donald Trump's plan to privatize mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac risks pushing U.S. homeowners' monthly payments even higher, experts told Newsweek, further exacerbating the affordability crisis in the country. The president said in a post on Truth Social on Wednesday that now is the time that seemed right for such a move, which he previously attempted in 2019 at the end of his first administration. So here's the deal. This is what it says, why it matters. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac currently are under the supervision of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, the FHFA, and play a crucial role in the U.S. mortgage market. The two firms, which buys mortgages from lenders and repackages them for investors, guarantee about 70% of their mortgages made in the country for about $16 trillion. Any effort to privatize the two companies reducing the federal government's involvement and shifting risk to financial investors could have massive consequences on U.S. households. Now, why is this important? Because since the government backs these loans, investors are okay with investing in these loans, which are made to risky borrowers. You heard me right. When you apply for an FHA loan, the reason why you're doing it is more than likely you cannot qualify for a conventional loan. So based off of your income, how much you're putting down, things like that. And so it's more of a risk for investors. FHA loans comprise some of the largest amounts of defaults during the Great Recession. And still today, when you look at mortgage defaults, a high percentage of them are FHA loans put together by Fannie and Freddie. This would cause investors to demand higher returns for the risks that they're putting out. I believe that this should be privatized because I am a firm believer in the free market dictating where interest rates go. I am completely against government intervention when it comes to interest rates. I'm curious what you think. Do you agree or not agree? Put it down below. I'm just curious what you think about that because I want the free market to always come out. That is what makes this country great. But because of government intervention, too much oversight, regulations, our economy, most people don't get to live as free as they think they do. Because what's happening is, because of all these government regulations, 20 people have their hands in your cookie jar. And you don't get to keep all the money that you make. Now, like 2 years ago, I told everyone on the channel, please go and refinance your mortgage. And I'm curious, if you don't mind, put down the interest rate you have right now. And I'm curious, I know there's going to be a lot of people that have low interest rates, and this isn't to embarrass anyone because I believe home ownership is an amazing opportunity and everyone in this country should have the right to buy a home. The truth is a lot of people will always choose to be renters, but I do believe there's a lot of amazing financial benefits of owning your own home, especially owning it cash. Well, there's going to be a handful of people that probably put 5 or 6, 7%. And right now, you need to be ready because when you don't know how to deal with taking out a mortgage properly, and it sounds funny because everybody goes, yeah, no, I go to get a mortgage, I go to a broker and I give them a bunch of information and they give me a mortgage. is a lot more to it, and all these shortcuts that could save you a ton of money in not only a lower interest rate, but little to no fees. And that's something that people need to learn about. If you don't know about that, and especially, it blows my mind in our real estate mastermind the other day, there was a gentleman, I'll think about this. This is what's incredible. It still blows my mind. I'm so excited to be a part of this. There was a gentleman that paid for the real estate mastermind course, which is like all of my real estate courses combined plus monthly coaching calls. And he gets on and the question he asks, he says, I'm about to buy my first home. And there's never a wrong time to buy your first home, just so you know. But there is such thing as a bad deal, right? And he had spent the money on this mastermind so that he could ask me questions and listen to everyone else's questions and get all these questions answered on these courses, right? And he was talking about wanting to hold on to as much money as possible. I asked where he lived, and I'm pretty sure the area he wants to buy in qualifies for a zero down USDA mortgage. And I'm a big firm believer in that. I know it sounds crazy, but when you can, think about this. I'm a firm believer in paying off your mortgage, but when you're getting a mortgage, I'm a firm believer in having a certain amount of money, an emergency account set aside, right? For incidentals or an emergency. So if you can put less down on your home and have that emergency fund that you don't spend unless there's an emergency, you're setting yourself up for success. And then you come up with a plan on how to pay your mortgage off super fast, whether that be through velocity banking, like using an equity line of credit to pay down your home, your front-loaded amortized mortgage faster, or if that is just getting extra shifts and paying bi-weekly or paying extra per month or an extra payment a year, right? There's so many different ways to pay off a mortgage. I like the first one the best because it doesn't cost you a dime and you pay it off in like half the time. But my point being is that you need to learn how to take out a mortgage properly. So I put that course together. It's on sale for Memorial Day, but I want you to understand, I do believe that we're going to see higher rates. I think the bond market is in trouble. Investors are going to continue to demand more for their investments in the bond market. And then you couple that with what President Trump's doing with wanting to take Fannie and Freddie Mac private, meaning that it's going to be private investors that back the loans, no longer the U.S. government. We need this because the U.S. government is hemorrhaging money, and these two institutions are already having problems. They're trying to hide it because they've been giving out risky loans again, just like they did in 2004. And so we need the government to have less intervention there and let that free market happen. But when interest rates keep going up, as they are right now, and mortgage rates, it's going to put even more pressure on the housing market, meaning you're getting yourself set up right now for the greatest opportunity in your life. For those of you that missed the Great Recession, type 10 if you missed it and you wish you would have known ahead of time, the Great Recession. For those of you type in 10, I'm telling you right now, you are setting yourself up wildly for success, and you're going to get that opportunity again. So sit back and enjoy it, but learn as much as you can about the market, the real estate market. Tax liens and deeds, it made me sick to my stomach when I started studying how much people were charging for those courses. $1,000, $5,000. There's one company charging you $50,000, which includes group coaching. I went and took every single course I could, paid for them all, and said, no way, there's a better way of doing this. That sale's going on too down below. I don't know what it is, but it's like stupid low. I think it's the same price as when we first launched the entire program. And then if you want group coaching, I've got 2 coaches every month, twice a month, ready to coach you. People are making money. As a matter of fact, if you're one of the group coaching students, let people know down below what you think of it. And it's funny, it's not a competition thing. There are a couple of people that are always thinking, well, why are you building all this competition for us? There are so many tax liens right now that are not they're going up for auction and they're not being sold, and then they go over the counter. It's the most incredible opportunity right now ever. You should learn about it. I've read so many books on it, and I cracked that code, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is easier than I thought. And most people stay away from it because they think it's difficult. Go look into tax liens and deeds. Go get your mortgage high and tight right now. If you've got a low interest rate, I know it sounds crazy, pay the thing off. You're killing yourself in the amount of interest you're paying each month. Go look at how much you'd have to go put in a bond or a stock just to make the monthly cash flow to replace what you're spending on mortgage interest because it's the only thing that's front loaded like that. Most people have no concept of that. Even Dave Ramsey doesn't talk about that. Man, that guy. All right, with that being said, thank you so much for watching the Economic Ninja. I'm not even joking. I seriously do that every time I screw that one up. The Real Estate Ninja, that's my brother. It's not me. Is out. Have a great day.